Uncle Nearest is having this situation with these 8 years of unfiled taxes.
Mhm, mhm.
If you're in that situation, you have 8 years of unfiled taxes. What do you do? One, open them letters, read them, get somebody to help you, especially because if my DIYers, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If you would have done it, you would have done it already. If you were going to do it, you would have done it already. Get professional help because I believe at this particular time, especially when you're so far behind,
You need it.
go ahead and get some
Just,
professional help.
yeah.
Have someone help you. Sometimes, oh, I don't remember what I did, whatever. And same with like Fawn Weaver, since this 2024, and they don't have the records from before, it can typically be reconstructed. Uncle.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Financial Fraud Friday with myself and Kerrina. We are here every other Friday as usual. Gonna do some quick introductions and then we're gonna get into the flow of this. But before we start, I just want to, say that, oh my God, it was such a pleasure seeing Kerrina. I haven't seen Kerrina. Kerrina and I attended a conference, a tax conference. This was their first annual tax conference. It was wonderful, beautiful, and I got to
Beautiful.
see Kerrina in person. It's been over a year and a half, almost 2 years
Yes,
since we've
almost 2 years.
seen each other in person. So it was good to, just give her a hug and say, "Hey, girl, hey, so good to see you." So we need to see each other more often. But for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Nike Togba. I am the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax and advisory firm in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We focus on entrepreneurs and business professionals. Our services include tax advisory, bookkeeping, and tax preparation. If you are interested in working with us, I encourage you to visit togbaandassociates.com and schedule a consultation or send an email to info@togbaandassociates.com. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you.
All
Kerrina.
right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kerrina O'Connor, the owner and founder of Cake with the K Financial, where we help six-figure solopreneurs resolve their IRS and tax problems so they can run their business with confidence. This typically includes if you have a tax bill that you cannot pay in full and or you haven't filed for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years, please give our office a call because we need you. We are happy to help you. We are based in South Florida, but our firm is virtual, so we can help nation and worldwide. So if that's an issue, I have an office answering service number now. So 954-761-5253.
Come on, upgrade.
So call or book a link in the bio. So I'm going to do the disclaimer. Oh, no. Let me start. That tax conference that we went to, oh, the best that I have ever been. Like to date, to date, to date. Mind you, I don't know if I've been to so many where I'm like, oh my gosh, but
Yeah.
like it really was game changing. I think I spoke to my mentor as well as I was talking to you, Nikki, like I was able to go into this room and just see my future. That's it. I am able to see my future exemplified and personified in these people. And it was
That's
beautiful
powerful.
to see. And I'm like, okay, great. How can I get there? What is the fastest path that I can get there? And I love that.
That's
And to be able
powerful.
to see Decay in person, we
Right.
haven't we haven't been able to see each other in so long. And then just having this banter in real life,
Yeah.
it was great. I really enjoyed it. That week it was fun. Tulsa's different, and I loved all the history and everything that was there, and I enjoyed myself. So
Yeah.
with that being said, we're going to start with the disclaimer. So, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This episode is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not legal, tax, or financial advice. All information discussed comes from public court filings, news reports, and press releases. Everyone discussed is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. While we are tax professionals, we are not yours yet, but we can be. Book a link in the bio. So, Nikay, what is the topic for today?
Our topic for today is a close to the heart, tender and touchy one. I'll start by saying that, okay? And this is from an article written, very well written at that, and very, what did you call it? Very diplomatically.
Diplomatic,
Yeah,
yes.
written by a David Olusegun. Forgive me, my African brother, I probably butchered it, but she tried her best, okay? David Olusegun, this was written June 1st, 2026. And the article is titled, The 1.1 billion brand that just filed its last tax return in 2018. What founders can learn from the Uncle Nearest collapse, okay? And I'm going to read the first paragraph because I think it kind of sums it up, and discuss and covers what we're it really just sums it up. Let's just stop there, full stop. Okay. And it reads, this one is going to be uncomfortable because the story of Uncle Nearest premium whiskey isn't a story about a bad product. It's not a story about bad timing or tariffs or a declining spirits market. It's a story about what happens when a brilliant founder confuses building a brand with building a business. And the lessons are so clear, so preventable that every founder reading this needs to sit. Okay. And basically, this article covers the timeline of Uncle Nearest. It also covers the founding story, how Uncle Nearest started, and ends, of course, with its current status and situation and what it's currently dealing with. Kerrina and I would like to focus, of course, on the fact that, we cover taxes, we talk about taxes. We're not going to cover any bit of fraud here. And I want to preface this, and I'm going to let you say your piece, Kerrina, that I personally love Fawn Weaver. I root for her. I have been watching her, I am a fan. Period. I am a fan. I think that what she has been able to do and create from nothing is amazing. Okay. So let's full stop there. The woman is amazing. What is currently going on does not take away from her ability, from the proof of what we have on what she created. That's how that's my take and how I feel about that. So this is, a story that we're trying, this is us trying to tell you how to avoid, ending
Yes.
up in this situation. And so what we want to focus on is the fact that tax returns, there are a bunch of points financially where things went awry, but we're going to focus mainly on the fact that tax returns have not been filed since 2018, right? So thoughts,
Yeah. Yes. So, Nikkei did her disclaimer. Let me do mine. I actually feel the same way. Like I like Fawn. Like, I mean, I don't know her from a can of paint, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
what she presents to on social media, and I guess, the brand that she talks about, it seems genuine that she actually cares about what she's doing. Like the simple fact that she named Uncle Nearest, it's not her uncle. Like, you know what I
yeah, I
mean? Like this
understand.
is not her family member. She's doing it in honor of someone else's family member and someone else's legacy of sorts, right? And she has made it a name
She,
and wants to continue to make it a name. So it is just unfortunate that certain things had to have happened. But one, we're all people, and then two, um, business is hard sometimes. But there are things that can be avoidable. And if you find yourself in the same situation as Uncle Nearest, what can you do in order to prevent yourself from ending up here or to make it even worse for you? Because
yeah,
like I always like to tell my clients, there are always options. So what can those options look like for Fawn as well as for you, like a small business owner? Yes, this is happening at a high level where it's like, oh, this is Uncle Nearest, this huge company. It
hmm,
can never happen to somebody like me. Like, no, this is happening in a very small businesses as well,
yeah,
of not filing your taxes since 2018. I have a few clients that have,
It
it's
happens.
normal.
It
So it
happens.
happens.
It does happen.
And this is proof that it is happening at a bigger scale where, hey, this larger company where the owner and founder is out and about and its branding is really branded
Is
really
doing what
well,
she's focusing
is
on what
still
she does best.
and still the other side is being is lacked.
Right.
So
And yeah, so and overall, honestly, this is just a conversation about how to make sure that you yourself do not fall into the same either cycle or trap. Now,
right.
I have to point out that she did have an accountant though, right? So one of two things could have occurred because I don't know how as the accountant you don't stress that, hey, look, we have not filed taxes in over 7 years.
hold,
Like, you know
hold
what I mean?
on.
Well, okay, good
We
point.
had that
Good point.
conversation a
Ooh,
couple
good
of
point.
weeks ago,
Yeah.
or I don't remember what week, but we can link it.
Mhm.
Was is it always the accountant's fault, the
Fall.
accountant and the CFO's fault? Because right now, I think right now the onus is, oh well, the CFO didn't do this and the CFO didn't do that, and the
Yeah.
blame is going on him. But
I
who is
can't
the
make you.
owner of the company?
That's true. That's true. And
Who
you,
is signing the CFO? Well, depending, the CFO might be able to sign tax returns
but
if they have that, but
he didn't have overriding capabilities based on what I've read.
exactly,
He could not
exactly,
override her decisions.
exactly.
So,
So
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Is it all on him or the accountant? It is a joint effort, especially like what did we talk about in that same episode was when you are a business owner, everything is your fault.
They
And
did.
it's coming like it's just what it was
That's
a
true.
misstep that she didn't do. Maybe she didn't get the whatever. It's a misstep. And they, like, according to the article, they can't find the files from before 2024. They have
Yeah.
mysteriously,
Yeah. Um,
got two legs and walked.
and
So, or got deleted or whatever the case is. But
well, per the article, and I'm just gonna, per the
yeah.
article, it says the court appointed receiver filed a
Mhm.
report. This was in February of 2026, describing the company as being in financial shambles. He reported
Mhm.
that financial records prior to 2024 were deleted or unavailable. He stated
Mhm.
that there had never been an independent audit. He told the court he could not assemble a reliable list of investors, how much they invested, or when those investments were made. Um,
Mhm.
and the writer of the article states this isn't a story about fraud. It's a story about a founder who fell in love with the vision and stopped counting. And we've experienced that. We have clients who are so good at what they do, they hyper focus on that, which is what they should do.
They should do.
But what they let slip by the wayside is, what I like to call your undergarments are dirty. You're fully dressed and you look wonderful, but your undergarments are dirty. The things that you think people can't see,
Mhm.
right? But if something happens, you get into an accident, which is what is occurring here, and now the paramedics have to come and get you. They're like, whoa,
What's this?
you know, your grandma used to say, make sure you know what I mean?
Make
Your
sure you got some
underclothes.
drop. Yeah. Because you never know.
You never know, right? So this is an analogy for that.
Yeah.
You're under, you know what I mean? Um, so and as an accountant, you and I both know also, sometimes we are warning them. We are that as an accountant, if you've hired us, we're that oversight mechanism. He
Mhm.
mentioned that oversight mechanism where we're the ones that are like, are we
What's
filing
going
this
on?
return? What's up? What's up? We filing? What? We need to file. You got it.
Yeah.
What's going on? Come
Message.
on, come on. To the point where we get on, it's a going joke when people are like, my accountant calling me. I do not want to talk. I understand you don't want to talk to me, sweetheart, but I'm trying to keep you together.
Right.
Mm-mm. So,
Right.
you know,
And I found too. on that second thought of the tax returns. So the tax returns haven't been filed since 2018. Apparently there are no current records for before 2024, right? Usually people are not filing their tax returns because one, something happened, like usually medically or physically. So maybe they lost a family member, or medically something is going on with them or their spouse or whatever. So the last thing on their mind is, oh, let me just file these taxes
Yeah.
when life happens. So that's normal. That's something that is common. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, as well as I know that I'm going to owe a lot of money, so I'm going to delay the inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't have the money, so I think that it's better for me to delay it instead of just facing it head on right now. I'm
But
seeing
talk
those
about,
letters come in. Oh, go
but
ahead.
I would encourage you to also, but talk about the repercussions of that. I know that you think I'm
Yeah.
pushing it back, but you know,
Yeah. Penalties, interest, just continuing to pile up. So the money that you thought you were going to pay, like say it was 20,000, that 20,000 is now 50, 60,000. So if you couldn't pay before, you definitely couldn't pay. Like you know what I mean? So
yeah.
you're delaying all of this, and it's inevitable. Worse if you have a corporation or a an S corp or a partnership where you're late, it's
Oh God, yeah. And $50
$255
per
per
partner
partner per month
per month.
that you're late.
What? I
Like,
mean,
do
there
you
is
guys
a stopping
understand?
point, but still, can you imagine
Yes.
if there's
Do
six
you
of you?
understand how many? And then this is a large corporation, right? So even if Uncle Nearest would have to be more than likely taxed as a C corp. The reason being is because they're having capital and stuff coming
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and those people are going to want some type of share, like they want some type of stock in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what,
Mm-hmm.
this is not something to play around with. It is a lot of money that they're going to have to recoup in taxes. And they were saying stuff about payroll taxes as well. Like payroll
Yeah.
taxes,
Oh
that is
God,
not
and
something to play with.
you know, you
I
and
want
I
to make
both
that
know how hard
very,
that.
very clear. I want to make that very clear. If you are having issues with your cash flow, payroll is not the place for you to, oh, I'll pay it later. The IRS sees that as stealing. They call it trust fund penalty. And that will get them to move faster. You can get wage garnishment. Your passport, if you owe more than 50,000, can be revoked, or they can stop it from being renewed. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just letting you know what the IRS can do. Your wages can be garnished. So that includes your W-2 wages. They can even ask your clients, if you have vendors, for those vendors to pay them, the IRS, instead of paying you. And you still have to report that income.
Yep. Yep. We've seen
It
that.
is not something to play with. So I'm saying all of this to be like, okay, Uncle Nearest is having this situation with these 8 years of unfiled taxes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're in that situation, you have 8 years of unfiled taxes. What do you do? One, open them letters, read them, get somebody to help you, especially because if my DIYers, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If you would have done it, you would have done it already. If you were going to do it, you would have done it already. Get professional help, because I believe at this particular time, especially when you're so far behind,
You need it.
go ahead and get some
Just,
professional help.
yeah.
Have someone help you. Sometimes, oh, I don't remember what I did, whatever. And same with like Fawn Weaver, since this 2024, and they don't have the records from before, it can typically be reconstructed.
It
They
needs to
can
be
reconstruct,
reconstructed.
yeah, it's going to be a pretty penny, but they can go ahead and reconstruct that data based on that information.
Now,
And I
don't,
know there was,
I'm
oh, go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead. I was going to say, don't quote me on this, but I think that recently I heard that they were able to reconstruct, or they did find the financial data. Yeah.
Okay, there it is. So you
Yeah.
can reconstruct it. So maybe you don't know, like, you're thinking, oh, well, I can't even remember what I did last year or even in 2018, 2019, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that's fine. It can be reconstructed. We can help you with the reconstruction so we can file your tax returns. So we can get those financials done and we can file those tax returns.
Yeah.
So, um, and as a side note, for compliance purposes with the IRS, now the states might be different, but with the IRS, you only have to file 6 years back. That's it for compliance.
That's the other thing. Every time, that's the other thing. And here's the other thing you need to think about as a business owner. Sweetheart, what goes along with federal taxes is state taxes.
Right.
We don't, that's not, people rarely converse about state taxes. Everybody's always worried about the IRS because
Right.
they're the larger animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But think about it. The smaller animal, the states, are not getting money from the nation. They're only getting money from
Right.
the taxpayers in their
Mm-hmm.
state. And
Right.
most times they can be more vicious
They
than
are
the
aggressive.
IRS. They are very aggressive, they're vicious, and they don't let things go a lot of times. Okay? Because they need their money.
True.
They don't.
They
You know
need
how
their money.
it's to me when
They
I
do.
talk to the state, you know what I mean? It's a
Yes,
partner a lot of times
it
because
is.
that's their revenue is coming from a smaller pool than the IRS,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the IRS
Yep.
can wiggle a little more. The state may not. And so people talk about, so if you owe back taxes with the IRS, 9 times
You
out of 10,
probably owe
you
the
owe
state.
back taxes with the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kerrina talked about them take garnishing your wages.
Mm-hmm. State
I
can do that too.
I realize that the IRS can go so far if you're going to owe both the state and the Fed. The IRS can go so far as if you pay the state. Say you had the money, you're like, okay, I know I owe both. Let me pay the state. The IRS can take that money that you sent to the state. You could have sent the check to the state. I have seen it. You sent the check to the state. The IRS took that check and said, no, 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 y'all don't get to apply that to our balance. We're going to take that and we're
Okay.
going to apply it to our balance. So you still owe the state what you thought you paid.
You
And the
paid them
state's going to start charging interest, penalties,
interest,
fees
fees,
because the
penalties.
IRS took their money. You know what I mean?
It's not something to play with. Like it's not like, like I said, this is on a larger scale and we're able to view it because of this court case. But the reason why we even know this, because they're not publicly traded. So we would typically not know this information. Like the public wouldn't know this information. But because they were not able to pay their obligations to their largest creditor, the creditor actually took them to court. At the very least, if things are happening or whatever, you might want to pay them. You might want to pay your largest creditor
Yeah.
because they have the backing and the manpower to sue you. And now, unfortunately, Uncle Nearest has a receivership where another person is heading the company right now because they're like, oh, you can't do this. You've been doing this for so long, whatever. We need somebody completely independent to get what the real numbers are. So much so that they're saying that even though there was a $1 billion valuation, 2023, was it?
There
in
was,
in one of the years.
yeah.
Um,
2023. Forbes
okay.
estimates the valuation at 1.1 billion. But Forbes, anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
The receivership is basically saying that the debts are higher than the revenue
So
than the
apparently the
assets, which means that they are insolvent.
insolvent. So apparently the
Insolvent,
value,
that's all that means. Your debts are higher than your assets. You're
yeah.
insolvent.
Yep.
And being insolvent, there are options. So I would suggest for like an Uncle Nearest to make sure that they reconstruct their financials so they can go ahead and file the last 6 years of tax returns. After they do that, they make sure they get all the things assessed and whatever else. And maybe they need to get either currently they can be under currently not collectible because they're insolvent right now and they cannot pay. they don't have enough liquidity to pay the IRS because the debt is too high. Or yeah, that would actually be my most my option, because anything else, offering compromise wouldn't necessarily work in this case because they have a good amount of assets and all of that. So I would say currently not collectible might be their option. And all that is like the IRS is saying that you have a legal pause, a legal hold on the amount of debt that you have to pay because you're unable to pay it. And we're not able to see that you will be able to pay it within the next 10 years or until the debt statutory liability is done. So that could be an option for them, maybe, or maybe bankruptcy. But actually, no, that's not going to work. Not in this case because they haven't filed their taxes before.
Yeah.
You have to have filed your taxes for a few years and things, and there are requirements for bankruptcy to count.
Yeah.
So they can still file bankruptcy, but their IRS tax debt will still be due. So yeah, I think currently not collectible based on just the little brief things, like for them to just have a pause, a hold. So that means that you, if you are in the situation, person that I'm talking to right now through this screen, is if you cannot pay and you're trying to think of, oh my gosh, what, there are options. You can go on a pause, on a hold. You can do partial payment installment agreement. You can do penalty abatement. Say something was going on, you lost your income because of medical purposes and you're not able to get it back. We can have a discussion and talk about that. So there's always options is basically what I'm saying. Nikkei, like I've been on a
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. No, because I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't, maybe you're currently not collectible, but for me, I think for me, I'm focusing on the fact that they just weren't filed,
right.
period. You know what I mean? Because to get to currently non-collectible, I had to file for
You
you
have to
to know
file.
what I owe, right?
You have to file.
And so in this particular case, they just weren't filed. Now,
Right.
what I am not knocking this woman. I'm not saying, because we've seen it. You know what I mean? We've seen it. I don't know what would have happened or what was the line of thinking that had us thinking that that would be okay, that would fly. You know what I mean? I don't know. I have no idea
Mm.
because, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is for a lot of people, Kerrina and I have said this on multiple occasions, you are not an anomaly. And I think
Right.
that this proves on a grand scale that you are
Mm.
not an anomaly. Look at how large this company was. From the outside looking in, this
Never
company
thought.
was successful. This woman was doing it to the largest extent. She was a beacon that a lot of us
Right.
looked at and looked, you know what I mean? So it happens. It can happen,
Um,
And so I think that a lot of business owners need to take themselves out of feeling like I'm the only one in this situation,
right.
right? That's a way to take
Right.
yourself out of that mindset.
Exactly. You're not. You're not. If this large company can go through this same exact thing, you can too. You are. And that's fine. It, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. We acknowledge it. You haven't filed. Great. At least your information isn't being broadcasted to the world. You know what I'm just imagine going through what you're going through and having articles written about you
Everybody's
and
talking
having
about
court
it.
cases and filings done, and
Yeah.
everyone is talking about it and now questioning whether or not you're good in your business.
Yeah.
You know you're good in your business. You know that you can do those services in your sleep, but maybe the finance part was just secondary, or you're sometimes we're doing work and we always talk about it, we need to be charging more for the work that we're doing. You know what I like?
I
This is
agree.
really, really common.
Yeah.
So thank God that your information and your stuff is not being on display
Yeah.
like Uncle Nearest. And we're able to use Uncle Nearest as a cautionary tale so it does not get there.
Yep. And I would, I guess, and for me, you say currently not collectible, and these are things that these are options that you can use once you file.
Yes.
But I'm going to talk about those of you who have not yet filed. You need to let's just let's just hit the period button, get some help, hire someone,
Right.
spend the money, make the investment, and get somebody on your team that's going to ride you and get your undergarments in order, get you, honey, wearing lace.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And
Get
people
you
always
in
want
lace.
to talk about, oh, go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Yeah, no. Hire someone. You gotta
Yes.
have this, they're part of the team. And they're supposed to care about you enough to know, hey, look, babe, you out here rocking and rolling to the public, but I can see your undergarments. We got to
Mm.
get that together. Because if anything happens, if an accident occurs, nobody's going to say that you weren't well put together. Not only that, this is the other argument I've made. Again, I'm not attacking her, but she's in an
Mm.
industry and in a space where I'm sure there was envy, jealousy, and the ability
Yeah.
she was being looked at. Come on, let's just call it what it is. I'm sure people were gunning for her. And
Yeah.
so knowing that I'm in a space where people are gunning for me, oh baby, my ducks are in. You gotta have your ducks in a
Yeah.
row.
You got to cross your T's and dot
Have
your
your
I's.
ducks in a row. That way, when they come for you, you can stand with your chest fully out and go to war in peace. That is how
Yeah.
go to war peacefully, because I
Hmm.
know that I am just in my responses. Do you know what I mean? And for
Yes.
me, that is what the position I like to have, that I prefer you to be in. That's the position you want to be in. You know what I mean? When you walk in the room, you
Hmm.
say, my undergarments are in order, you know?
Right. Right. It's true. That is true. I agree wholeheartedly. So yeah, once again, cautionary tale. You always have to get into compliance. The IRS, all of the, even with the state as well, but all of the options that are provided to people who are up to date and compliant. And for the IRS, compliance means at least 6 years have been filed, processed, assessed. Once that is done and completed, then you would be able to have your options, whether it be an installment agreement or you put a pause on your account, depending on what your financial situation looks like. So it's not for you to just, oh, well, I'm just going to go get like there's no. And I was also saying while Nikkei was talking, for you to go ahead and spend the money, understand that we are doing years of work in a very short amount of time. So it may cost you more money, but that is the cost of waiting. And this is the reason why we're telling you to not wait. If it's only 3 years right now, don't wait till it's 4 and 5. Do it now. And everybody talked about write off this and write off that. Paying us is a write off. So you are essentially reducing the amount of profit that your business has by paying us, and then therefore reducing the amount of taxes that you have to pay in this current year. Get yourself in order. It's not, I'm not going to say it's not that hard. It might be a little hard and uncomfortable, but we're going to work through it so that you can get right and you can get back into compliance.
It's and then here's the thing. It ain't there's no it might be. It's gonna be uncomfortable, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be uncomfortable and it's gonna be a journey. But you got somebody that's willing to take said journey with you. You got
Right.
somebody that's willing to stand in the gap for you and take that weight off of your shoulders. That is the reason you hire someone that knows what they're doing. You
Oh,
you are not a plumber.
that's true.
But you try.
Right.
That's like me talking about, yeah, girl, the plumbing is, I'm going, I'm not a plumber.
And even
Uh-uh.
so,
Pay somebody, please. Fix it. Fix
and
it.
even so, because we're at the conference, The lady with the AI was saying, I think it was Kimberly, if I'm not mistaken, she was
Okay.
saying that I know how to change my tire. I know how to change my car oil,
Yes.
but I don't
I'm
always
open.
want to do it.
No, I don't. I don't. I want to
So
do
you
what's
need
fun.
somebody else. Maybe you might.
I want to do the thing that I like. And the thing that you like may be marketing. The thing
Right.
that you like may be maybe healthcare. The thing that you
Yeah.
like, whatever that thing is,
Consulting.
right?
Yes, whatever it is.
That's what you like to do. So, sweetheart, go earn your money. I'm gonna fix this. When I
Right.
call you, answer the phone, answer my questions. Let's do what we gotta do. Stay in
Right.
touch, but go do what you do. That's why I'm here to
Right.
stand in the gap for you.
That's it.
Mhm. You know, so I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna close this out by saying again, I like Fawn. I love
Yeah.
what she's done. I see that she was trying to create, excuse me, that she was creating legacy,
Right.
right? And what is really hurtful to me is that the possibility that this may be lost.
Hmm.
This legacy, you know what I mean? All of this work may be lost. This woman has put in work and created something, a powerhouse. You know, I hope, my hope and prayer is that she can, she's got some good folks on her team that they can figure out by God's grace how to reel this thing back in and get it back on track. That's
Right.
my hope. That they can get this back on track because I hate to, this is not,
Yeah.
you know what I
Same
mean?
here.
Yeah.
Same here. Because it's the company impact, I think, overweighs all of the blemishes
Yeah.
that are happening right now.
Yeah.
And if they can get that cleaned up, it could still be a powerhouse. A lot of companies go through some things and they end up being you know what I'm saying, like the biggest company out there. So I'm praying that one, they can fix it. She can get her company back and not be under receivership after this court case and everything is done. They can figure out who their creditors are and everything and whatever else, get their taxes filed and all the things. Um, and move forward. Move forward. Move forward.
Yeah. That's the hope.
But yeah,
That's the hope. That's the hope.
yeah.
So, well, you guys, that this was another episode of Financial Fraud Friday. I don't know if you do you have anything else to add,
That's
Kerrina?
it.
No, that
No.
was it. All right, y'all. Well, yes, this was a rough and tough one, but we got through it. And I encourage business owners, entrepreneurs, those of you who are thinking of going into entrepreneurship and owning your own business to read this article. Again, it is an article by David Olusikun. I think I'm gonna put a link. I'll put a link to the
Yeah.
article at the bottom of this video. I suggest you read it. I think it was very well written.
Same.
It was he praised her in places where he should praise her, and he noted mistakes so I think it was a fairly written
It was fair.
article, honestly, and it pointed out tips and tricks for small business owners, things to do, not to do.
Right.
So I'll leave a link to this in our description. But want to thank you guys
Yes.
for hanging
Right.
out with
I
us.
think I do have a thought though, okay, actually,
Okay, all right.
because
Okay,
like just
yeah.
oh, this is not necessarily on Fawn, but just because we were talking about the article, we were thinking about like when we were creating the topic today, and we researched and was trying to look more things at Fawn Weaver, especially about this. We were able to find like what Nikkei was able to find this article, but I'm just saying as encouragement because he wrote this article in the beginning, I think of June, was it?
June 1st.
And you never know who is going to be looking at your article, reading your article, looking at your videos, all of these things. Like it's never in vain, especially in this virtual social media space. It is never in vain. I'm just taking that as encouragement for us right now.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. True, true. Oh, I see what you're saying. See, and then we still have to think as business owners.
Right.
That was like a business. That was I'm with you.
You
I'm
just
with you.
never know.
You
You
never
never
know.
know who's
Yeah,
doing your thing. And this was very well crafted, very well
he did an
thought
excellent
out,
job.
very well read. Um, Shout out to him. And I would
Yeah,
definitely be like, letting him
following
know
him.
that this was
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
He did an awesome job. This was an awesome, a well-written article, I thought. It's, my
Yes.
opinion. Um, so again, we will leave a description, a link to the article in the description. Encourage you to read it, especially if you are a business owner. And want to thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yep.
We're here every other Friday. Okay. And we will be back. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever you want to say, leave them, leave your comments. We look forward to them. If you have any topics you think we should cover, please leave them there. Um, I have available a link for
Yes.
those of you guys who are looking for tax preparers, because we are encouraging you to find tax professionals and accountants to work with. So there is a link that I will also leave in the description of 6 tips for choosing your tax preparer. And it covers things like questions you should ask them and things you should look for. I encourage you to read that if you're someone who is shopping for a tax preparer or a tax accountant. Okay. If you're someone in need of resolution services specifically, meaning you have back taxes, you have not filed them, you have filed, but then you've got balances and you're getting notices and things like that, afraid to open them, please reach out to Kerrina. Please reach out and get some help. Okay. If you are a current business owner who needs help with your accounting, your bookkeeping, okay, you want to clean up your bookkeeping, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. I'd love to assist you.
Yes.
Okay. So that is our spiel. And so we're gonna sign off and we will see you guys next go round. All right. All right.